We'll move on to the talent showcase next. Divya is a professional photographer from Chicago. She, a lot of you may have met her at my events in Chicago or on tour. And today she's going to take us through her journey with photography. Thank you, Divya.
Namaste, everyone. Can everybody hear me? Just give me a thumbs up. And thank you. At some point, I might also ask you guys to unmute yourself or, come on video just to make it a little bit more interactive, if possible. Again, my name is Divya Ramachandran. I'm from the Chicago ashram and the AYUDH Chicago chapter. This workshop hopefully will be about how I decided to get into the business of making memories for strangers, friends too, but yeah, and family too, but mostly strangers. So when it came time to kind of like name my venture into photography, one of the phrases that came into my mind was love and focus. And I'll dive a little bit more into why that is, and maybe you'll understand while I'm kind of going through it. Next slide. Okay, so I am a lead photographer, but at the same time, what I do as my full-time profession is I do work for the government. I'm an administrator and I work in the public health field in the disease control sector. So that's what I do full-time. But at the same time, I am a lead photographer and I own a business now with Amma's Grace called Now and Forever Photography. Follow me on Instagram. Um, and I also work as the lead associate at a luxury South Asian wedding photography company called Maha Studios, and they're based in Chicago as well. So the first thing that people kind of ask me is like, why are you doing this, right? And their question, especially in the Indian community, it makes sense because I think South Asians are kind of very much honed in on sticking with the anything that has to do with like science and STEM field. And like my thought process is it's okay to be creative, right? It's okay to find avenues to explore things out there, different cultures and different perspectives out there. And I found my avenue through photography. I started doing it for fun. It just kind of started off as a hobby, and it became and evolved into a business. But I really did struggle a lot because I think even now I'm the only Hindu female Malayali photographer in my community. There's a lot of other, it's a very male dominated field in my community still. And there's a lot of, Muslim female photographers because of the nature of their events. But I really did feel kind of lonely in the beginning. And I didn't have any other connections to connect me to this field really. So then I asked myself, why do I do this to myself? And the answer to that is I love love, right? Also, I can't see any of you guys in my presenter view. I don't know how to fix that. I want it to be a little bit more interactive. Let me see. Oh, gallery. There we go. I'm able to pull up everyone's. All right. So yeah, why I do this is because I love love. I consider it an honor for me to be like invited to, their biggest day, their special day. If you think about it, I'm kind of there for like their biggest milestones. It's not just, I don't just cover photography per se. So I'm basically like, they're kind of like best friend of the day. If it's a company, I'm dealing with like their biggest milestones or stepping stones. If it's a child, it's a first birthday, second birthday, like and I must say, I've been to so many kids' birthday parties and I have the most fun. Every time a princess walks in or someone, like I am going ham, right? So it gives me a lot of joy to be around people that are happy, people that are, they have a lot of emotion. A wedding day can be stressful, but you also see like raw emotions, just like how you would see when you when people come to see Amma, right? You see people when they're going for their darshan, like you see raw emotions. So it's kind of like that during these milestones. And I love witnessing that. And I think that's part of the reason why, even though I felt so lost in the beginning, I still do. But and there was really no really path for me. I just had to figure it out. It felt right. It felt like, it felt nice to continue doing that. So and there's been times like I even though I do this as a business, there's been times I literally take pictures for free. All the pictures for the ashram, that's like my seva. And if there are other people outside of the ashram that can't afford photography, but I really connect to their story, then I just do it for free. I really don't mind. I do it for the experience to make someone feel special and to create an art that they can kind of look back on. So I hope I didn't go too overboard with that. But next slide. And
Divya, I have to ask you a question.
sure.
Who took that picture of you in the previous one?
Oh, that one I kind of framed it and I made my colleague take that picture for me. That's the thing. When I was trying to make these slides, I realized like it's so hard to find pictures of me. I don't have much. Um, but yeah, that was one of those pictures. Um, and then in the next one, I just kind of wanted to tell people about like the timeline of because Ritu kept, asking me like, what happened? How did you get into this? So I think, I look so cool in that first picture, right? But I do wanted to kind of like, I think it's in my blood maybe because my dad was into photography a lot back in the day. He did work in like a mini studio for a little bit. He picked up a camera and he just took a lot of pictures of my family. So I think it's always fun looking back at that. So I think I do have some roots there. But around 2018, when I was in, finishing up my college or my bachelor's, uh, I was doing a lot of science-oriented classes. So I decided, the very last class, I was like, okay, I need to do something for fun. So then my dad had a DSLR at the time. It was the Nikon that's like around my neck in that picture, second picture. And I was like, okay, well, let me just learn how to use it. So I took a class on basics of photography. And it's just mind blowing that like, you go into certain classes or you meet certain people and just never know how it changes your life, right? So I went into that class just to learn photography, but I picked up so much more from that. It's not just like the business, but I realized it's like photography is a way to capture memories, but it's also like very basic. At the very core of it, it's the art of light, right? And that's it. So you can make do with the information. Like if people add additional lights, no matter how complicated it is, the base of it is just light. So at this time in 2018, I literally did it just to learn how to use a camera, just for fun. And then in 2020, around then, one of my friends asked me, she's like, "Oh, you have a camera, right? Can you just take some pictures for my like engagement?" It was very intimate and small, so I just did that for free. But then I really liked the aspect of me like being more involved in that in a person's event than just sitting there as a guest, you know? So that is when I was like, this feels good. And then in 2021, the girl I took the engagement pictures for, she just started referring me. She just said, hey, I have another friend who wants pictures. And it just kind of like, it was like a avalanche after that. It just kind of like grew. And in 2021 is when I took it, I was exploring a little bit more of it, like, but I did it mostly for free and mostly for fun. And then when it kind of became a little bit more serious, I took some time off because I got married in between, and also I had some medical concerns to kind of like focus on. So I did take time off, and that's important. Like in a business, if you don't feel good, you can't provide that for your customers, right? So you have to take care of yourself first. And then around 2023, I started taking it a little bit more serious. I got back into it. And I was like, do I even exist in this field anymore? I don't know. But I just started taking pictures again. And then, after a little bit, I registered my business. And here we are in 2024, That's a picture of me with very heavy cameras. But that's like me currently, in the weekends and stuff. I do a lot more, wedding photography and stuff like that. So that's just like the general timeline. And if you have questions along the way, just feel free to ask me. Um, Next slide. And a good thing about like owning your own business is you can do whatever you want with it. That's like the fun part. A lot of people say like stick to one niche, you'll grow. And I'm like, that's cool, but it's also cool to like explore different niches and cultures, different types of media. Like a year ago, I didn't even know how to make reels. Now I know. So here are some of the like services that I like kind of like started doing and dived into. I think once you learn how to use your camera, it's easy to like as long as you know how to. I think the biggest part for me was just taking pictures at like receptions. Once I cracked that, it was like a key because it's like low lit, right? After that, everything else just became, as long as you know how to communicate with people and just have fun, the options are endless, really. So I just wanted to show you guys like, this is all the add-on services I added on, and it's been great. Next slide. So this is the part where I thought, people can unmute yourself a little bit. And I just wanted to ask, like a lot of people ask me, this one question, like, how do you take the pictures? What do you do? Blah, 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 like the process behind it. But what do you guys see in here? Maybe there's a pattern, but what's common in here from your perspective? At least one person has to answer. Praful?
Pictures are all natural.
I see Praful's hand up.
Um, you kind of like you have a nice distinguishing factor between like a foreground and a background. Like if you look at the shot with like Ramanji in the group, top left corner, it's like you have a clear subject in the middle, and then your background's like kind of fuzzy, so like all the attention's drawn towards the middle, like the main points of the picture.
Mm-hmm. Aryan, your hand is up as well.
I was gonna say that every shot incorporates like varieties of colors together, right?
Mhm.
I mean, if you look the shot of the tower, right? There's the blue of the sky, the white of the clouds, and then there's the green. That one has less variety compared to like other ones, like the a altar and the table of at the bottom left with everybody sitting down, different colored clothing. So yeah.
Perfect. And Aditi?
I really enjoy how this is not really like what I noticed. Well, kind of. I just really enjoy how everyone looks so like happy and like what they're doing in every photo. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your kind words. All the people that, kind of talked. But yeah, that's every single answer is right. So my point is anyone can do this. So with photography it's just you don't need a fancy camera or anything. It helps if you have a good camera, but it's all about like being attentive and just catching the right moment and the right emotion. And that's it. So and in all of these perspectives, like the ashram is like a beautiful place to really practice. Like when I just started again in 2023, that's when I started doing more things in the ashram. And it became a seva. When you're a part of it, you start to be a lot more like observant. You start to know like, okay, this might happen. Like that little kid on the corner, right? He was just having the time of his life at a AYUDH retreat, and he's just smiling and he's laughing, and you just have to like be there to catch it, and you click. You just have to angle yourself. Whatever makes more sense to you angle wise, like whatever I take is not absolutely right. It's all about perspective too, but it's all about capturing the right emotion at the right time. And when it comes to landscape pictures, like with the Amma Tower and everything, like it's just clicking at the right angle, and that's it. Are you capturing the essence of like that field from your perspective? It doesn't have to be right. But yeah, that's like became a seva. Thank you for all the people that talked. So it became a way to capture the memories. And for me, the way it became a seva is because it became a way to share Amma's initiatives and to foster community engagement. So no matter what your passions are, you can always find a way to incorporate that into the ashram. And it's like, you get so many, it's a judgment-free zone, you can really like dive into your passions. Like for example, like Praful knows how to play like 20 instruments and he tries all of them at the ashram. Not to put you on the spot, Praful, but like you're able to really like use it. If you have a passion in project management, use it. If you can sing, do it. If you can dance, participate in the cultural programs. That's what I also wanted to highlight in this sector. In the next slide, I also use my kind of photography and the photo save, I say it, into like AYUDH Chicago. I do a lot of the AYUDH Chicago like Instagram page, and we're close to 600 followers. But also, it's a way to like tell compelling stories, right? You're able to share through emotion and strong visual, how you're able to really like make these initiatives like come to life, right? So and it builds credibility, it builds transparency. You're showcasing the work that happens because it's not just talk, right? You're literally showing the world like, hey, we're doing this. It enhances marketing and awareness. And then also it drives a lot of like the engagement and the social media impact. And also just like event coverages, it fosters a sense of community. And obviously can be used for like future promotions as well. And when you document, things like this on a long term, it creates long-term support as well. So these are just ways that, I'm just highlighting how I was able to use my photography skills in like the ashram, and really like it became a save up. In the next set of slides, I kind of just wanted to see like, how I said it all started as a hobby. Like when this became a lot more serious, there's like a one harsh truth that I didn't really anticipate. And that's like managing a photography business on top of having like a full-time job and everything else in life. It just requires like so much energy and like time commitment, but at the same time, like it gives you a whole new set of like soft and hard skills, both technical but and operational, but also just like skills that you can use in different places in your life. So, and that's like the thing. If you have a business that you want to start, and if you have anything that you are passionate about, and you just want to be like creative, like while you just start, you just need that courage to start and just like, go with it. But you'll pick up so many things. You'll be surprised. So some of the things with the photography business is like, so the left side is like most of the
Divya,
hard. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. I think we need a little bit more time to like finish the remaining few questions.
Oh, sure,
So
sure.
so if it's okay, can we share this, you think, with the group afterwards? Like,
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Um, did you want me to end, or did you want me to go to the next slide and just like finish?
I don't remember what the next slide is. I
Okay.
think we might need to end.
Okay.
Uh,
Sounds
yeah.
good. Well, let
I'm
me
sorry, I couldn't mean to
no,
be
no,
pivot.
I absolutely understand. So yeah, just contact me if you have any questions on anything that I, kind of presented on. But thanks for listening. Namaste Shivaya.